Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show!
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 157. Doesn't matter if you're just getting started or if you've done thousands of deals. There is going to be something from this next 90 minutes that you can take and implement into your business right away. I am sitting next to the greatest wholesaler of all time.
Yeah!
Jamil Damji.
Say it again!
Keegley. Astro. Thousands. Millions. Boom. I am Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Talk to People, and we are excited. I am telling you what, it is hot out there right now.
Yeah.
The real estate market is hot right now.
It is.
It is
Interestingly hot.
Every single deal that we have been following with our cash buyers is getting multiple offers on their flips. Multiple offers.
Wow.
And when they're turning it over,
Yeah.
we sold it to them 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 5 months ago. Every single property, multiple offers in Phoenix.
You know what else I'm seeing? Okay, so had a great conversation with Monique Walker this morning.
Yeah.
Just about the market again. You know, we are like anybody should be in business. You should understand the battlefield, right? And so her and I will once a month or couple times a quarter, sit down and just chop it up as to like, what are you seeing right now and how are things looking? So she said, Jamil, interestingly enough, we are in a strong seller's market still here in Arizona. Okay. What does that mean? That means that we have just over 3.5 months of inventory available.
Right.
That's not a lot.
No.
A balanced market is 6 months of inventory available. So if you think about that, 3 months of inventory means you're in a hot seller's market. Just over 3.5 months of inventory means that you're in a strong seller's market. Days on market right now are just over 60 days. So length of time has expanded from what we saw in the previous height of the market. Sure. But what's 60 days, bro? When your average day on market is typically 90 on a single family residential home. So we're still well below the national average. And then looking at that, the number of pendings and how fast homes are going under contract. This is not only in Phoenix, Arizona, this is nationwide. Yeah. That there has been a dramatic spike in the number of pendings across the board in every major market across the country. So let me ask you, have you been doing more deals this January than last December? If you're not, what are you not doing? What are you leaving behind? What efficiencies, what opportunities, what methods are you not implementing in your business right now that is keeping you from doing dramatically more business? Have you implemented any changes in 2023? Because Brent runs one of the most efficient wholesale teams I've ever seen. They're loyal, they're efficient, they crush it month after month, week after week. The same people are going to be in this office. Like it doesn't have high churn. He doesn't have people coming in and out and folks leaving him to go start competing wholesale operations. No, Brent runs a family wholesale business, and it's literally like he treats it like his family, and that's why it's always here. But you have to have pivoted. You've had to have done some things to survive and to have grown into 2023. Help us understand behind the curtain of what this Wizard of Oz did.
Well, number one thing
Yeah.
is go back to our dead leads in our database and revive them. Right, all the people that were hanging out, all the people that were saying they were going to think about selling it or whatever, and the timeline was way too far out, are now coming out, and those were popping. Right,
Yep.
Not only that, but texting has been really good this year for us.
Great.
Really good. We use Launch Control for that. They do a fantastic job. And that one's picked up, at least, when you do a few deals in January, you're like, oh my gosh, because in 2020, we did $500,000 in texting. That's the earnings that we made. And in that was 2021. In 2022, it was like 40 grand.
Oh, wow.
Like 10%
10%.
less, 8% of what it was the year before. So I think a lot of things were going on with the carriers. They were blocking a lot of things. I think the technology needed to figure out how to actually deliver the text, and I think they've done a good job. And we were using batch leads before. They've really backed away from wanting to get into the nitty gritty with what's latest and greatest and what's really going to be a solid texting platform, and led to the rise of Launch Control, which has done fantastic. So they've been going really, really strong for us. We've got a couple full-time texters that send it out, and then they'll filter through the leads, get it to Chad, my junior acquisition manager, and he filters it, gives it to Ryan, who's our closer, our main acquisition manager, and it's been going fantastic. So
Amazing.
I think texting's back up with people that really know what they're doing. Make sure that you're getting real phone numbers, though.
Yeah.
Do not get bad data.
Yeah.
Stick with batch, skip tracing, or batch leads for the data there with the phone numbers. Don't just upload a bunch of
That's if you're going
true
direct
people
to seller.
search. Yes.
That's if you're going direct to seller.
Yep.
Guys, it's really important. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. It's really important that you have good phone numbers. If you're going direct to seller, I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. So those are the pivots you've made.
The going back, I mean, listen, there's principles to this business.
Yeah.
Number one principle is you have to talk to people.
Yes.
All right. I've got it on my shirt. I've got it everywhere. I've been talking about it for a long time. It's a mantra. It's a motto. You have to talk to people. I don't care if they're agents. I don't care if they're other investors. We broke down the 3 ways that your business gets these deals coming in, going direct to the agents, getting agent referrals, right? Or getting referrals from other wholesalers, investors. It's all talking to people. So fundamentally, you have to surround yourself with the tools that work in this market, right? You do, whether that's talking to agents or going direct to the property owners. You got to make sure that you're having enough quality conversations to hit your goals.
Love it.
Right.
Love it.
And that's the model. That's what I think people get so screwed up with. And that's what has frustrated. And we've had a lot of conversations about this, Jamil, is when people change, they want to try all these different tools. They don't have a toolbox.
Yeah.
What is your toolbox?
Right.
What is the fundamentals of your business? Fundamentals of your business is being proactive in whatever it is and having conversations.
Bottom line is, if you're watching this show, you're learning from Brent, Pace, myself, all 3 of us, whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
None of us have the approach where we say, hey guys, go spend $50,000 on a billboard and let your phone ring.
Right.
We are teaching a proactive, get your elbows dirty, get into the business. Don't spend a bunch of money, but spend time, learn the fundamentals, become a communicator, do proactive outreach, right? Our models are different.
Mm-hmm.
Brent's direct to seller.
Yeah.
I go direct to agent, right? My results are going to be different than his results. My deal flow are going to be different than his deal flow. Our cost per contracts are going to be different. But ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, it all leads to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting properties that have an opportunity for a potential gain, something that you can add value to, or an ugly house.
Yep.
We're putting those properties under contract, and we're selling our contracts for big, juicy, goosey checks. And we're missing a head of ours today.
Yep.
He has been on a wild tour of Texas.
11 days.
Man, he's been. I think he 11. What did he do? 11 days, like 9 or 10 cities.
Yep.
I was with him in New Orleans, and then he took Texas
Kept
by
going.
storm. Yeah, he kept going. He had Monday and Laura and Corbin meet him out there. Monday had her first birthday while they were on the road out there in Texas. So happy birthday, Monday Morby, from all of us at Wholesale Hotline. We love you, baby girl. And he is not going to be with us today, guys. Pace is finally making his way back home to Phoenix, Arizona, after his really long trip in Texas. So everybody send Pace good vibes for safe travels for the Morby family to make it home safe and sound. And he will be back next week.
Love it. So when people, Pace, absolutely incredible whirlwind tour of Texas. I'm sure he's happy to be sleeping in his own bed tonight, but we miss you, and we'll have you back on regular schedule next week. It'll be great. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited about what the future of 2023 has in store. Of course, my model has always been relationship based. Agent outreach has been the primary way that we have made millions of dollars.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, you want to know where the number one place where people fail when they're doing agent outreach? I thought it was getting up the nerve to make the call.
Sure.
It's not.
Okay.
Because what ends up happening is they'll watch enough Wholesale Hotline, they'll get enough juice, they'll psych themselves up enough to work real hard for a week. So they'll go and they'll do all of this outreach for a whole week, okay? And then nothing happens, because what do you need to do in order for a deal to happen? Follow up.
Well, and momentum. I mean, it's 90 days.
It takes time,
I
guys.
talk about this all the time. The first 90 days of consistent action in this business will challenge you more than you've ever been challenged ever.
Yes, sir.
It truly will.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm telling you, it's not just going 1 week. It's not just going 2 weeks. It's not only that. You got to keep the optimism strong. You got to keep the positivity strong. This is why getting around people that are doing amazing things in this business are absolutely critical. You need to find your tribe. You need to find your community. You need to find the people that are going to cheerlead you during this process. Because I'm telling you, if it's just you in your dark ass living room trying to make calls to agents or property owners or other investors, and there's not that encouragement, you don't have the wind behind your sails, it just doesn't happen. It's just not consistent. It just doesn't feel good, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important that you get that support of people that are already a few steps ahead of you. They've survived that 90 days.
Yeah.
They've gotten through that 90 days. They know what it's like once you go and you cross from faith to fact that you can actually do this business. And out of the ether, we talk about it, right?
Yep.
You get a contract signed that is instantly an asset.
Yep.
And now, because you had a conversation with an agent and they got you this contract, you can sell this asset to somebody else out of thin air.
Out of thin air. Of course, the key here, though, is that you got the contract.
Yeah.
And so we did a little bit of investigating, right? Like where to, and I honestly, I thought it was, it's the nerve. People, they just don't have the nerve to make the call. It's not the case.
Follow up.
It's where they all die.
Yeah. Why? What do you think?
Consistency.
Yeah.
And it's not, the gratification isn't instant, right? And so I'm saying this from the deepest, empathetic part of my being. Guys, stop giving up on yourselves. Give yourself enough time to prove yourself right. Give yourself enough time to prove yourself right. God didn't put the motivation or the inspiration in you to have financial freedom and to go build a kick-ass wholesale business because you couldn't do it, right? Like you didn't get this desire because you suck.
Yeah.
No, you have this desire because this is in your life path. This is meant for you. You can actually accomplish this. You're learning from 3 of the best in the business, and you've got thousands of people out there who want to support and help you and work with you. But you have to remind yourself that you've got to show up, and part of that show up is the follow-up. Here's another piece, dude. When we have people who say they don't work for our organization and we have to let them go part ways, right?
Sure.
And we go back and we look at the only reason why somebody doesn't work is it didn't work. They didn't work. We didn't work. And it didn't work. Right.
It'll work if they do.
Well, anyhow, I want to be as politically correct as possible. I don't, who knows why somebody doesn't get success.
Yeah.
Here's what we found. Overwhelmingly, the people that ended up leaving, their follow-up game was practically zero.
Yeah.
So what we had is we had reps go in, take over those accounts, and begin following up.
Magic.
And like magic, Brent, like magic, the business can start right back up again.
Yep.
So if you have not figured out in your business where you're fumbling the follow-up as your first thing to do, looking at what do I do for the rest of the week, figure out where your follow-up game is right now and how you can make it more efficient. I promise you guys, there's millions of dollars in your follow-ups, and if you are not getting this part down right, you are leaving so much money on the table.
Yeah, you got to pre-qualify. You got to pre-qualify the people that you're speaking with based on the condition of the property, their timeline to sell that property, their motivation to sell that property, and their price. Not only that, but are they going to do business with you? What's the likelihood that they're going to do business with you? I think that the biggest issue with lead follow-up is leads make you feel good.
Yep.
Having somebody actually be nice to you on the phone
feels good. Yeah.
That's a stranger and they're like answering questions and you feel like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of potential. This is it. I'm finally getting in the game. I'm finally going to go on an appointment and this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose that.
No.
So you never call them.
Right. Because you never want to know. You never want them to say, I sold the house to somebody else.
Right. Or I don't want to do it right now. Or I want too much or whatever else. Professionals disqualify as fast as possible.
Yep.
That's the truth. I mean, real professionals disqualify as much as possible to make sure that it leaves room for the people that'll actually do business with you. And that's really, really, really critical. And when we're starting out, we just want to rush out to any property that people are being nice and having a good conversation with us. And they're like, yeah, come see the property. And you can tell me what you're going to offer and it's going to be great. And you can tell me all these things. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go right now. And then you go out there and they don't want to sell it for a year or they want double Zillow.
Yep.
The double Zillow seller.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The fantasy land
that
seller.
could have been avoided. And the trip, in fact, I still teach it and we still have the rule at our office. You are not doing a property visit unless we have a property under contract.
Sure.
And I explain this very easily to any seller or any agent who has an opposition to it because opposition happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I explain, listen, when we come in full force.
Yep.
And it is irresponsible of me to bring my entire team to take them off the jobs that they're working on right now to come and look at a potential deal that we haven't even got under contract with you yet. We haven't established numbers. I have a very good way of knowing how much things are going to cost for me based off the pictures that you've provided me.
Yep.
So unless there's something there that you're hiding, which I don't believe you would do, I think that I've done as much due diligence as I can do up to this point before we go under contract.
Going on the appointment is just the natural progression of great lead follow-up. I mean, you're just going there to get the contract signed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I get it. Some people want to run out there and they want to build the rapport and they want to see what's going on. And maybe they throw out a high price, but there's motivation there. Sure, go in that appointment, especially if it's an ugly house.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to sell it to anybody that can get bank financing. So they eventually have to sell it to somebody with cash anyway. But you have to make sure that you're doing your pre-qualifying, you're doing your lead follow-up, and you're getting advanced agreements. Listen, we've talked about the price that you wanted. We talked about when you wanted to close. We know it's going to go through this title, Fidelity title. When I come out tomorrow, is there anything stopping you from moving forward and signing the agreements?
All the necessary brother. This is such an important piece. Actually, Steve is going to be presenting at my mastermind this upcoming weekend. I'm happy about that because, look, if there's
Steve Chang?
Yeah. If there's a sales trainer I think is worth his weight in this business, it's Steve Trang. I mean, he is one of the most uninteresting people to talk to. I mean this in the most kindest way possible. I love Steve. He's a brother of mine.
Yeah.
But he is flat, bro. Like,
yeah, he's dry.
he can be dry as, but the fact that he's a sales monster and he doesn't have to have any like special gimmicks or like a, opening lines or like, funny ways that he gets people to across the finish line.
Right.
No, he does it with like, it's basically like, who's that comedian back in the day? The monotone, Ben Stein.
Yeah.
It's basically he's Wholesale's Ben Stein.
Do you remember that show?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Ben Stein's money.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome.
I love you, Steve. I did not mean that in a mean way at all.
No, he gets it. We call him Party Man because he loves to party.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Guys,
Anyway,
get your questions in the chat. We're gonna
There's some great ones. Somebody asked a great question earlier. What do you say when you call somebody, it's a probate, and they say that the owner has passed away? Well, first of all, if you're going after inherited properties or probate properties, a ton of empathy. Like an incredible amount of empathy. People are going through really, really, really tough time, and to just go in there like guns blazing with your personality and with your tone of voice is going to throw them off, and it's not going to work out well. So go in with a tremendous amount of empathy and just explain to them that you work with people that are going through what they're going through, similar situations, and you'd love to help and support them. And what is their plan? What are your plans with the property? And so if they're open to it and you're using empathy and you're using your tone, typically they're going to let you know, have a good open-ended question there. What is your plan with the property? I was just calling to see what your plan with the property was. And then, if they're in a place where they feel like they can have that conversation, they're going to have that conversation.
Right.
And if not, just be like, listen, I do not I know this is a tough time. I don't want you to feel any pressure coming from this side of the phone.
Also just be a human being and ask if there's anything that you can do to help. Sometimes you're talking to somebody who is managing an estate remotely from in their own life, like their family member passes away. Now they've been named the personal representative of an estate. They've got their entire lives still going on in their world, and they've just lost somebody who they love.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a sensitive time. Their whole world is upside down. They're being asked to perform a task they're not trained to do. This is not like you go to school and all of a sudden become a personal representative for an estate. No, this is like this happened because somebody like died and said that you were responsible enough to help them out after they passed. Right. So remember that, right? Have the feelings, have the empathy, and truly be of service. Like ask what you can do. Ask what you can do. You never know. Somebody might just need help finding a locksmith. Somebody might need help mowing a lawn because the HOA is giving them fine after fine after fine after fine, and they're trying to get a hold of the HOA to figure out what's going on. But, oh, my God, if they could only find just a landscaper to help them out this one time because they keep incurring all these, ask the question, how can I help?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you're going through this right now. Is there anything that I can do to help you? And then get into what you do and why you're even calling.
Yeah.
But be a human before you are anything else.
Graydon, hi, I'm in Astro. I do agent outreach virtually, but locally I got my first deal using 200 bandit signs.
Congrats.
8K assignment. My question is, will 100 bandit signs a week lead to a deal a month? Thank you.
Well, Graydon, I think bandit signs truly are effective depending on what market you're in. So a market like Phoenix, Arizona, the bandit sign days have kind of passed us by, right? Why? Well, if you go outside and you look at any street corner, there's multiple bandit signs there for every industry type. You're competing against political bandit signs. You're competing against other people who are putting out bandit signs. And also there's a lot of city ordinances that make bandit signs illegal. That's why they're called bandit, is because they're illegal, right? So, first and foremost, Graydon, I would suspect that where you put bandit signs out, you're probably in a smaller market, and bandit signs actually really work well in smaller markets. Like I asked Ty Flipman Taylor, and he's in what part of Alabama is he in?
He's in Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah, he's in Birmingham, Alabama. But in little pockets in Birmingham, bandit signs work.
Yeah.
Like they're the best thing.
Yep.
and nobody ever takes the signs down.
I found rural, it
Yeah,
works
like
better.
rural and smaller towns.
Bigger spread out spaces, it seems to work really well.
You'll also not lose money to having to reprint and replace that bandit sign over and over again. I'll tell you what, in a market like Phoenix, Arizona, you put a bandit sign out on Friday, by Monday morning, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And they do multiple stings here in Phoenix where a bylaw officer will call you pretending to be a customer, and then they will slap you with a fine for the bandit signs. They do it here all the time. It's constantly happening. So, Graydon, first and foremost, congratulations on the 8K deal. Come on, let's give him a smash on the bell. Yeah. I don't know that you can say that there's going to be a saturation point for how many bandit signs you can put out in that little market of yours, right? And so I would say be the bandit guy in that market and have as many bandit signs on as many corners as you can. But I don't think that it's as simple as saying, if I do this many bandit signs a month, I'm going to get this many deals a week. I don't think that you've got enough data, especially because of the nature of bandit signs, that you can give yourself a metric like that. Like we can say on agent outreach, you have 50 conversations a day and you do that 5 days a week and you do that 6 to 8 hours a day. You can very easily do 5 to 7 deals a month. That is not a stretch. That is not, in fact, that's lower than what you can actually do. If you look at any of the Astro members that are crushing it, they don't have any more days in a week or hours in a day than you do. They don't have any more days in a week than you, or less than anybody else. They're just doing things a little bit more efficiently, right? They've figured things out. They've got more help. They've got assistance, whatever that is. They figured out how to be more efficient in their day, right? So what you want to do is you want to find what key performance indicators, what metrics can I bring to my business when you're talking about scale? Because that's what you're talking about. I want to do this and I want to get this result. I don't think bandit signs is going to be in that conversation. And if you want to have that kind of KPI, you're going to be talking about cold calling. You're going to be talking about agent outreach. You're going to be talking about calling dead leads or how many offers you make on on-market deals. So that's going to give you more of a metric. That's going to give you a consistency metric that I think you're looking for here.
Yeah. Graydon, first of all, shredded. Great job. Look at him. It's just absolute shred city.
Wow.
Look at this guy. Go get him. Second, listen, you need minimum 3 months of testing and preferably 6 months of testing. So if you're going to go with it, if you're going to go bandit signs, then you have to in your mind think, okay, I'm going to be consistent with this for a minimum of 90 days. Okay. And test it out. The reason that we talk about just pick up the phone and make these calls to homeowners that own ugly houses or people that represent them is because you can leverage your time a lot faster than putting out 100 bandit signs. You could just be on the phone having these conversations over and over and over, 50 a day, which is outstanding. I mean, that is, I love that. That is, you cannot lose.
You can't lose.
If you talk to 50 agents a day, 5 days a week, you will be a millionaire. Guaranteed.
You just have to do that.
Guaranteed. I'm just no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But with bandit signs, you have to test it, right? I think what happens is early, and I certainly experimented with this as well, but early in my wholesaling business, I was like, well, I want people to call me too. I'll be reaching out, but if people call me, they want to sell. They're hot right now. It's going to be a good deal. It's going to be amazing. It's a lot easier conversation when people call you. What's the cost for people to call you? That's the number that you have to figure out in your business. What is the cost? If it costs you, whatever, $1,000 to put out 100 bandit signs, how many calls do you get?
Right.
I
think Pace was, when he was with Homevestors.
Yeah.
The average cost per phone call, I remember him saying, was like $1,800.
Yeah.
And then, he'd have typically however many calls would lead to a contract. And Pace was one of the best in the country. He was in the top percentile of closers And even then, his cost per contract was 10 grand. Can you imagine if you're just an average closer and your cost per contract is like 15 to $17,000? How are you going to make money?
You have a job. You don't have a business.
You have a job.
Yeah, you have a job. Great question. Here we go. Michael, is it wise to close and take ownership of an off-market wholesale property and list it on the MLS with an agent for a 1% flat fee? This is certainly case by case, Michael. I think what you're referring to here is what would be called a wholesale, which is interesting. I try my best, Michael, and this is just our strategy in our business, to have as little risk as possible.
Yep.
So if I don't have to close on a property, the better. I will have a conversation with a cash buyer and tell them, hey, listen, we negotiated really hard on this deal. It's going to be a big deal. If you care that it's going to be a big deal, let me know, because then I'll just close on it and not let you know what I bought it for. But I'd rather us just, be an open book so you know how much I'm making on this thing. But it was a great deal. It was a home run deal. Do you have any problem with that? And they go, no, typically.
I always just say, hey, listen, we're going to do well on this deal, but I'm going to double close it to you, and I'm going to incur the extra expense of the additional closing cost, because I don't want it recording at that number. I want to make sure that you get credit for buying the property at the price you're paying. And your buyer will thank you for that consideration, honestly. Like, if you do it by assignment and there's a $75,000 assignment on your thing, it shows that it closed $75,000 less than what the investor bought it for.
You got to show them the closing statement.
Especially now with the way that lenders are protecting themselves and how appraisers are coming in and appraisals are coming in low. You really want to be sensitive for your buyers.
I just have them give them the settlement statement.
Oh, to who? The
appraiser.
The end appraiser?
Yeah.
That's a little, that's a great tactic, but it's a little harder. Now you're still now you're having to justify why your price is where your price is, where really value should not be predicated on what you paid for it.
Right.
It should be on what the buyer is willing to pay and what improvements are made, but they still look at what you paid for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you certainly can. If you don't have buyers for it, Michael, it's a great way to put it on the MLS if you think that you've got a good deal, but make sure it's a really smoking deal.
Yeah.
And I would honestly, Michael, I would have a relationship with an agent that doesn't just charge me 1%, because having a really good agent matters. Even if they wanted to charge me 2% or 1.5% or something like that, they're going to go to work for you, and they're going to find you other opportunities, especially if they're sending you deals and you reciprocate to give them the listing on something like a wholesale or a flip. If people get into that, having a really great agent you could make millions. And
don't think that just because it's off market that it's going to be desirable.
Right.
That's not the case. Numbers are going to dictate 100% here, Michael. So, again, make sure you're buying it at the right percentage of ARV for its condition, for the market that you're in. And as long as the fundamentals are there, you should be okay.
This is great. DCP-1.
Love it.
Tips to avoid screwing people over as a noob.
Well, my first one is, why not start off with just being honest? I think one of the most damaging things that has happened to wholesale to the wholesale as an industry is, for decades, educators like us had taught people that they couldn't just be honest about what you're doing. You couldn't be truthful about your type of real estate investment as a strategy. So first and foremost, I would say the best DCP-1 is to just be truthful, to truly say what you're doing, who you are in the deal, and what you're trying to accomplish. Right? I think that if you can overcome the fact that people will do business with you even if you're a wholesaler, that nobody gives a crap as long as the property closes and you do your job. Second, I would be really knowledgeable about value. I think you want to know what really screws people over? When you give them a contract on a property that's way higher than where it should be as a number and then cancel on them because you didn't learn the fundamentals or understand how to value the property correctly before wasting people's time. That's honestly one of the biggest screw ups I think people make, and why real estate agents, title companies, and other industry professionals have kind of shied away or been a little bit hesitant to work with wholesalers is because of that situation I just described, where you come in as an investor, you say, hey, I'm here as an investor. I want to buy this house. They put the property under contract. You didn't run proper comps. You didn't get a buy number or talk to a buyer or a Keegley franchise to find out what this thing could possibly be worth or what number you should be talking or should be locking this thing up as. And instead of doing that, you just get really excited because somebody's talking to you and wants to go into contract with you, and you give them whatever number they say they want. And then that number ends up being wrong. And then you either A, ghost them because you're so embarrassed for having made the error, which again makes and reflects poorly on the industry, or B, you cancel and they just think you're a flake.
Yeah, value is number one because a lot of people think you waste their time sending them deals that aren't deals. I would say this. The only thing I would add is answer your phone.
That's also very true.
Answer your phone and respond to text fast. Do you want to be like top 1% in the real estate world? Respond to a text message within 30 seconds. Seriously. It is so undervalued. We've talked about it a few times over the last 3 years that we've been doing the show. But like the fact that the speed of response at texting, whether it's good news, bad news, no news, just reaching out, whatever it is, just communicating, nobody responds to texts quickly. It's like this thing. So if you do it, you're like set on a hold. Like people are like, oh my gosh, this is somebody I got to take seriously.
Yeah.
This is somebody that's on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something I learned from you, actually. You were always the fastest.
It's dog on a bone energy, bro.
Yep.
We still teach it to every person who comes through the doors of Keegley is that when there is an opportunity on the table, you are on it like a dog on a bone. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just And then people go hours and hours and hours without responding.
It's
and
like,
then
what
it's
are you doing?
yeah, I'll take that deal. It's like, no, it's not.
It's gone.
Yeah. What are we doing? All right. D. Lee. How can I command respect without sounding from a rude, experienced agent that is out to lunch on his price? All right. How do I command respect without sounding rude? Okay.
So he wants to command respect from an agent because he feels that he has a good positioning to argue price.
Okay.
But he's the opposition or his person he's talking to is an experienced agent,
He's puffed up.
He's puffed up.
He's got puffery.
So he's like, how do I have this conversation without sounding rude?
Yeah.
What do you think?
One, use your tone. All right. Use your tone. Now, if they're coming at you aggressive, you can mirror and match. Mirror and match with a little bit of sugar to it. I mean, you could bark back at them, but usually it just turns into like this like measuring contest, and it doesn't really work out as well in my experience. Maybe I'm just not as good at barking as other people. But being right at the point, this is probably a driver personality. So be really, really, really fast and accurate with what you're telling them. Just tell them, listen, I'm looking at the comps. This is where it's at. I'm looking at how much this is going to cost to fix up. This is where it's at. This is why I can come in at this price.
My thoughts on this, find alignment. If you're thinking that arguing with the real estate agent is going to get you anywhere, you've lost the battle already. Here's how I find alignment. Okay, and what I mean by alignment is, okay, let's just say Coke Can is real estate agent. I'm me. Brent is seller.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, real estate agent is sitting in this situation right now. They're aligned to you.
Yep.
Right, and they're your advocate in the deal. They're representing you in the deal.
Yep.
And I'm trying to come in and push, or I'm trying to come in with a number that doesn't make it feel like we're on the same side.
Yeah.
Right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to align. I'm going to come sit on your side of the table.
Love it.
I'm going to say, hey, we're all on the same side here. But what I'm also going to try to do is I'm going to try to bring the agent a little bit closer to me and give them a scapegoat. I'm going to look.
Let me be the bad guy.
Hey, look, Mr. Agent, your experience, and I know you've done this a long time, and you've probably sold so many hundreds of deals that you know this house is about $100,000 overpriced.
Yeah.
And so my guess is that you didn't propose the list price to your seller. My guess is the seller is driving price right now. So my question for you is, how long do you think this is going to last? When are you giving up, or how long do you think I should wait until I give up? Because I want to buy this house, but it's not going to be at this number. It's going to be at a number that's real.
Yeah.
I just want to know when you think your seller is going to be close enough to reality that we can make that transaction happen. And as soon as I give that agent their out, and I make the agent off the hook for the price, I make the agent and I friends, all of a sudden they want to help me because you're asking them to go to their client and sell a number that they know is going to upset them. So how do that when you're arguing with them? You can't do that arguing with them. You have to be on the same side. You're going to be friends.
I get it. Sometimes you're going to deal with just assholes. And then that's why you talk to 50 of them a day. It's a volume game. There's going to be some times that the rude, experienced agent is not going to want to be your friend. Move on, and that's fine. Do what you can to get aligned. Hit them with the facts. If they're not, then move on.
Someone saying about my voice? What? Oh, thank you.
There you
go. Love you, bro. Jamil sounds like he's a horse. Yeah, guys, I just came off of COVID and gross. I didn't even get to enjoy the Super Bowl happening in our city here because of this stinking COVID. Sucks.
You feeling better now?
I'm great.
There's those antibodies. Hi, Jamil and Brent. You mentioned seller market earlier. What does that mean, and how is it good for wholesalers?
Well, great question. I think you should never look at anything like good or bad for wholesalers. Okay, it's every time that your brain is telling you this is bad for wholesalers, this is good for wholesalers, this is bad for wholesalers, and you're creating an opinion about whether something is good or bad for wholesalers, that's just an excuse. That's your subconscious mind kicking into gear to tell you why now is not the time to take action. I promise you that's exactly what's happening. Okay, so first and foremost, whatever that voice was that made you ask that question, understand that place is coming from a place of procrastination. Second, yes, we're in a seller's market based on the stats, but when we're talking reality, especially these houses that are in distressed condition and original condition or needing a tremendous amount of work, those houses are still sitting on the market. You want to know what houses are not sitting on the market? The gold standard comp, the fully remodeled house, the perfectly staged, perfectly photographed, well-designed, well-remodeled flip. That house is not sitting on the market. That house is going under contract and selling fast, which is good for us because that's our buyer. That means our buyer is getting in and out of their properties faster. But also, when we're in a market like this where there's confusion, and houses are still sitting on the market, if they're not in good retail condition, it gives you an opportunity because sellers don't even realize they're in a seller's market because unless your house is the best one or done real well, you're going to pay the price. And the price is a cash offer.
Yeah, I think, listen, it's really interesting. In 2000, basically since 2013, but really since 2019, the market was going bananas. It was going like this. So when the market's going like this with the appreciation, especially once 2020 hit, the cash buyers in our market had to, kind of figure out where this was going to go so that they could get these deals. I mean, there was multiple offers on almost every single deal out there. And what happens when it starts flattening out is they were predicting that the their return, or they would be able to sell it for more, and then it flattens out, and then all of a sudden a bunch of them got caught in the second part of last year. What we're saying now is things have settled down. People have looked at this 6 months and have been like, okay, I can see the interest rates are going to be in that 7%, 6.5%, 7.5%, somewhere around that price. I'm going to be able to make decisions based on information that seems reliable.
Correct.
Which means that the cash buyers that got beat up or were sitting on the sidelines because they didn't want to lose all their profits that they just made over the last 3 years are coming back. So we're just seeing a lot more people interested in the deals that we're sending out than we were, basically like mid last year. Now, we still had really great buyers. We had some really great people to work with us to buy our deals. We're just seeing that there's more of them now.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yep. So again, Zainab, I think just think of this in terms of more action means more buyers means more wholesale deals. It's great for us.
There we go. Enrique, handsome gentleman, as a wholesale pitching a cash offer to an MLS deal, do I as a wholesaler need representation from a realtor to submit my offer? And how do I turn around and wholesale that MLS deal?
Great question, Enrique. I would always suggest that you have representation on an on-market deal, and I would highly suggest that you have the listing agent represent you on that deal and have them be a dual representation situation where they're representing you and the seller. Some agents may shy away from that. Not every agent is open to dual agency. I'd say 1 out or 2 out of every 10 agents have like nerves about dual agency and they just don't like it or they don't want to do it because of the liability or whatnot. And what I would say if that agent rejects your offer for dual representation is ask them for a referral. Say, do you have a friend or a family member that you want to refer me to that I can keep the business close to you? And why does this matter? Well, it matters because you're incentivizing the realtor. When you have them represent you and dual agency, they're going to be paid a commission twice. When you have them refer a friend or a family member, they're now going to have a favor in the bank with somebody that they work with that closely, right? For me, I'll take a favor with Brent Daniels as much as I'll take a $10,000 check. Okay, because I know that they both have value. If I ever need a favor from, it's actually worth way more than $10,000. But if I wanted a favor from Brent Daniels, and I know, hey, I can get a favor from Brent, refer Brent some business, I'll take that all day, right? So yes, you want to use an agent, you want representation, you don't want to just write out blind offers. But also think about it this way, Enrique. You should be calling the listing agent and having a conversation about where your number is and why your number is where it's at. Don't just blindly send offers out on MLS listed properties. That is the fastest way to get deleted. It is the fastest way to be non-responded to. And you're going to start to create a story in your head. Oh, nobody's accepting my offers. Everyone's calling me a lowballer. No. You didn't take the time to create alignment with that agent. You didn't build rapport with that person. So that person didn't present your offer because you didn't show up. So think of these things. But yes, you would wholesale this deal the same way you would wholesale any other deal. As soon as you put the property under contract, you then have an option. Send out that contract to your buyers. And if somebody buys it, you can assign it to them or you can do a double close and sell it to them. That's it. The mechanics don't change. It's the same process in wholesaling, whether the deal is on market or off market.
Boom. Skylar. By the way, Skylar is part of TTP, Astro, and Sub2.
What a guy.
Look at this guy. He's got all of it. I'm looking at a quadplex for $500K. The ARV is massive, and I can't secure the deal because the seller doesn't want to do assignable contracts. I need help and or guidance. So just close on it, Skylar.
Yeah,
get transactional funding.
Get transactional funding. Do a double close.
Yep, double close, double escrow.
Yeah, there's lots of solutions here. Skylar, what I would say is, if you truly believe in the deal and you have it for $500K, then you should be contracting it. You should be figuring out, where can I get the money? How can I close this? But don't not do a deal because you can't assign it. There's always another exit. There's always another exit. Assignment is just one exit in wholesale.
Yeah. Just close on it, bro. Skylar, just get it done. I mean, listen, there's a ton of transactional funding that you can look into that do it nationwide.
I do it.
Yeah.
I do transactional funding. I know Abraham Gray. He's another sub 2 Astro student, TTP friend that will do transactional funding across the nation. He's available. There's lots of resources that you can use out there. Typically, transactional funding is around a point. So this is a $500,000 deal. You might spend $5,000 in transactional funding, but if the ARV is huge and you make a $20,000 assignment or $20,000 lift on your sale or more, what did it matter that it cost you $500,000 to close? Who cares?
How about you go find the best cash buyer that buys multifamily in your marketplace and just go do the deal with them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's also
just you bring in the cash and pay me the whatever. Make it something reasonable that makes sense on what you can make on it. But if people are looking for the multifamily properties, they're going to buy it with cash and refinance with it anyway. And they've got the connections, they've got the cash. It's either sitting in their account or they've got relationships with the private money lenders in town.
Right.
Just bring it to them and be like, listen, I'd like to make something on this. They won't let me assign it. How can we do business? Yep. Or just do a double close or double escrow. Just find a title company that will do it.
Also,
will Fidelity do it?
100%.
Yeah.
Remember, having a non-assignability clause doesn't take away your inspection period. You still have time. Go lock that sucker up, get yourself an inspection period, and then let's figure out how to do the deal. But don't let that contract sit out there because you're worried about the assignability situation. That's just an exit. We can figure that out.
Sorry, just going through. Guys, great questions today. Absolutely great questions. Kevin, you're absolutely right. If you're watching this without a pen and paper, you're wasting your time. Totally agree.
I see a question here about intermediaries.
Okay.
From obscure, I don't know, somebody obscure. And the question was, what are your thoughts on intermediaries? I'm in Texas. So no dual agency, which actually there is dual
ocelot.
Obscure ocelot. Is that what's an ocelot?
That's that cat.
Oh,
it's a beautiful cat. Yeah.
Damn. I learned something. An ocelot is a type of cat.
Yeah.
Damn.
Looks like a tiny leopard.
Wow.
They're wide. Yeah.
How do you know this?
I don't know. I think there was an ocelot. I think I have a friend that has an ocelot on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway.
Do you get asked that question a lot?
I get it asked it all the time.
So what are your thoughts on intermediaries? I'm in Texas, so no dual agency. Actually, obscure ocelot, that's not true. You can do dual agency in Texas. It just a lot of agents don't realize that you can, and they call it illegal. But it is possible. So would you suggest that over asking the seller's agent for referral? So I'm not clear on what you're saying an intermediary is. Like, who are you referring to as an intermediary? Is it like the intermediary that's involved in a 1031 exchange? Are you talking about who's like a closing attorney, escrow officers? Who are we talking about here? But no, I would not suggest anybody over asking the seller's agent for referral. I think if the seller's agent doesn't want to give you a referral, then come to our community and say, hey, who here in Texas wants to help me and represent me on a deal? I'm sure we've got somebody licensed in Texas who would be happy to represent you and submit your offer.
Dimitri's amazing. He's done like hundreds of deals from Belgium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Florida land is his game. Good to see you, Dimitri. How do you get to a value on commercial lots? Residential is very easy, but for commercial, it seems rather complex. Looking at traffic counts, what is allowed to be built, etc. Every single time with commercial, Dimitri, I reach out to commercial brokers.
Yep.
I do. I'm just telling you, commercial brokers are like what we all should be the first 5 years in this business. They are on the phone 8 hours a day, calling every single person that owns commercial real estate in their marketplace. That's their job. They get fired if they don't. They literally have to call up, and they know everything about these lots. They know the people that buy those lots. They know other people that have sold those lots. They're going to know what's going on with those lots. Now, they might not have a good relationship with the property owner, so that's your opportunity to go and work with the property owner and build that relationship. But talk to a commercial broker and say, hey, listen, I've got this lot. I'm buying this lot. What can I do here? And what's the highest and best use, or whatever questions you want to get? Is this a good price? What can I sell it for? All those things, right? So, but just get their expertise, pull it out from the people that all day, all they do is commercial.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, commercial's value is based on its use case.
Yeah.
Right. So why does traffic matter? Because if you're going to put a gas station there, then the number of cars that pass that intersection every day is important, because how much money can this gas station make building here versus that other corner, right? And so it's all about how much money can be made on the highest and best use of that land. So yeah, Brent, I mean, there's no better way to put it. Talk to a professional in that space to get that answer.
Look at handsome Dustin Williams here. Looking fly. That's got to be a wedding picture, right? Or you think it's like a professional picture? What do you think? What's your take?
I think that's
it's looking good.
I think his girlfriend shot that picture of him when they were standing outside their last date.
You think he goes on a date like that?
Maybe.
This dude is next level.
Maybe.
Dustin, looking good on your dates.
Giving him the
best dressed guy in
the benefit of the outfit.
I love it. Dustin, let us know. Wedding, professional picture, or is it a date? Jamil and Daniel. Okay. If you had to start over, how would you...
Daniels. You're Daniels.
Yeah.
Hey,
I get it.
Hey, Jamil and Daniels.
Jamil. How would you chase your first deal? On-market deals using Privy, shout out Ryan Zolan, or agent outreach?
If I had to start over, how would I chase my first deal? I would do a mixture of both, actually. I wouldn't do this or that. I think Privy is fantastic for finding good on-market opportunities. I'm so happy to have shown Ryan Zolan Privy so that he could have shown it to you. Shout out me. And also, agent outreach is a great way to spend the rest of your day talking to realtors to see what opportunities they have available coming to the market. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah, Dustin, I would find an ugly house on a street, and I would go, and if I had $0, I would go to True People Search and just get their phone number and call them or knock on the door, and do that for every ugly house, at least 100 or 200 of them. I would go find them, and I would call them up, and I would see, when do you plan on selling this property, and start that dialogue right away. Now, obviously, when they're on market deals, they've already made the decision that they're going to sell their property. So it's probably a shorter timeline there than going direct to the property owners, but you never know. You never know when you catch somebody that has made the decision, they're ready to sell that property, and you can get that deal locked up and move. So
he said that his girlfriend snapped that picture for him for LinkedIn. I was close.
Oh, professional.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of both.
It was a little bit of both.
Looking good, man.
It might have been on. Hey, Dustin, were you on your way to a date though?
Oh yeah. What was why were you wearing that?
Occasion? What was the occasion?
Maybe it's just a LinkedIn photo.
I mean,
awesome. Hannah, I just gave an offer I feel was low, but it is because the area and the house is in okay. But I want to help because I know why. What would be other option that I can offer, or did my emotions get too deep?
I think if I translate this, Hannah says she just gave an offer out that she thinks was low, but justified.
Sure.
And
reasonable.
Now she's feeling that she wishes she had given another option, or maybe had another tool in her tool belt Or am I wrong in feeling bad at all? And are my emotions just getting the better of me right now because I gave an offer that was lower than expected price?
Right.
First and foremost, never apologize for being realistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact of the matter is, the fact that you had to offer significantly below what a property is listed at doesn't make the seller a bad person, the agent a bad person, or you bad for coming in lower. Nobody's bad. Everybody's doing the best for themselves, right? The seller wants top dollar. The agent wants to help that seller get top dollar. You want to pay as little for the property as you can pay and still make the property go. That's what it is. You're a buyer, they're a seller. You guys have different interests. The facts are, though, is that if you're justified in your number based off the numbers and the fundamentals of comping, then you should have no negative feelings about it. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't have offered more. We have typically with us the subject to king who would lovingly tell you that you are always okay to overpay for a property as long as you have a way to use that property that cash flows. So ask yourself the question, could you have paid more for the property and been able to do that deal based off of a better use case for it? Is there a way to make that property cash flow? Or could you do that deal creatively through an owner finance or a subject to deal where you gave the seller more money and still made the deal make sense? That's, I think, where your line of questioning is headed. But I could be wrong. So, Hannah, if I butchered that, let us know.
Yeah, and listen, you don't have to go at it alone. You don't have to know every single technique. You just have to build a really good relationship with that property owner. If they don't want to take your offer because they want more, then squat up with somebody that knows how to do creative finance deals.
Yep.
Like, you do not have to learn all of them off the bat.
Agreed.
to go out there and take action. I would say focus on one thing, squat up with somebody that's focusing on a totally other thing. You go after wholesale deals, they go after creative finance deals, and they help you on whatever transitions you need to make if it's going down that path, if they want more than you can offer them cash. And it makes sense. But remember, you can't do every deal.
Right.
I'm just telling you, like, the sooner you realize this, the sooner that, now listen, can every opportunity be a deal? Sure. But you can't do every single deal, especially when you're starting out. Find somebody that wants to trade price in their property for speed and convenience. That's what you do. That's what we do on a daily basis. That's what we're looking for. So if you're looking for it, you're going to find that. But if you're looking for everything, every creative deal, every cash deal, every put it on the market and do this and novate and all these other things, you're not going to get momentum. Just find an ugly house, put it under contract, sell that contract to somebody that wants to do something amazing with that property.
Love it.
I got this one here. This is a good one. Nathan asked great professional photos today. Look at these guys.
Everyone's stepping it up.
Jeez Louise.
Hey, but Dustin did say that he's in med sales, so he needed to take a professional photograph, but he's also wearing shorts.
My man.
I love it.
I love it.
He was business on the top, party on the bottom.
Below. There you go. That's it. Nathan, should you include an inspection contingency in your assignment contract or have them inspect it before signing? They're looking to get it appraised before buying as well. This is a tough buyer here. They want an inspection period and they want to get it appraised before buying.
Yeah, find another buyer. This is not a wholesale buyer. This is a wholesale liar.
Yep.
This is somebody who is going to come in and tie you up the entire time you're in an inspection period. They're going to drag you along right to the end of your inspection period. They know the game. And then they're going to come at you with a price or an offer that's going to either make your profit margin go to zero or very low, or it'll be below your cost. And then you're going to have burned up all your days with this one joker. And you're going to be at the end of your inspection period. And guess what you're going to do? Cancel. And guess what this person is going to do? Go right behind you and buy it. Find another buyer. I can tell you I have had this conversation 1,000 times, and this guy exists in every market, and this guy wastes everybody's time. Don't do business with this guy. He's a fool.
Yeah, if you want to buy this deal, it's $5,000 non-refundable, deposited at the title company as soon as possible. No inspection, no appraisal. I mean, they went through it.
Yep.
If they went through the property, that's what it is. And if it's a smoking hot deal, Nathan, you should have 2 or 3 other buyers that will just beat them like a drum. You know what I mean? If that's your only buyer, then either get a lot louder or reach out to
talk
Keegley.
to Astros, talk to Keegley, talk to TTP. I mean, you TTP folks, we're doing so many deals with TTP students, by the way. I hear it all the time. So, hey, shout out all you TTP folks that have been squatting up with Astro people and all the sub-2 family members that have been squatting up with Astro folks for Dispo. You guys, just watching you guys help each other and do deals with each other is one of the most incredible and fulfilling things for the 3 of us that I can tell you we do in our lives.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering, like, the deals that you guys sell for other wholesalers, other investors, how are they getting those deals? You know what I mean? Like there's got to be.
Oh yeah, they're TTPing, bro.
Yeah.
They're cold calling.
Yeah.
They're doing the direct to seller stuff. I mean, our business doesn't exist without your business, without people that you train.
Yeah.
That's the facts.
Listen, it's that's how this whole thing works, because we're out there finding, and we don't get paid unless it gets sold.
Exactly. So we got to be each other's friends, and we got to be able to help one another get the most.
Yeah.
I want you to, bro. Every deal we do, you need to be selling it for top dollar.
Top dollar.
And so you got to be working with somebody on the dispo side who's helping you get that.
And you got to find people that have the buyers that are looking for that deal at top. Yeah, at the top. Gavin, when people say they only do direct to seller, or I only want direct to seller deals, what does that mean? They are the wholesaler doing off-market deals.
It means that they don't want you to do a co-wholesale. They don't want a JV. So if there's another wholesaler involved, they don't want to see that deal. And that's fine. If that's what your buyer is saying, then that's what your buyer is saying. They don't want any JV situations.
Short-sighted.
That tends to be, again, that type of buyer that won't do a lot of business anyways, because an extra $5,000 throws them off their, like, menstrual cycle. Sorry, that was said wrong. Paying $5,000 to another person, like, gets them out of whack and makes them feel bad about themselves. And to me, that's a scarcity-minded person, and I don't want to be around that. I don't do business with scarcity-minded people. I'm happy if multiple people are getting paid in a deal I'm doing. I have no problem with it. As long as the number makes sense for me and I'm able to make money doing that deal, it does not matter. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Well, it's interesting. I just put out a video on finding top cash buyers for free on my YouTube channel. And one of them is just Googling, right? Sell my house fast, and going through and calling those companies, right? Yeah. And it's really interesting though, the direct to seller mentality that some of these companies have. They're like, oh no, we don't work with wholesalers. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, you are a wholesaler.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Are you a wholesaler?
Yeah.
Are you a flipper? Like, what's your business?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't work with other wholesalers.
Yeah, right.
What?
Yeah, until they need them. Right?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's silly, but this is good, Hannah. Okay, we got you. You don't feel bad about the offer. She just lacked the tools in the toolbox. Squat up.
Yep.
Squat up. Everybody should know somebody in TTP. Everybody should know somebody in Astro, and everybody should know somebody in Sub 2. Absolutely. You don't have to go at this alone. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to go out there and listen to every podcast and read every book on every single different strategy. Find the one that like speaks to you, that you know that you can go out and be consistent with, and build that first. The interesting thing is, if you just focus on building your actual business of going out and finding discounted properties, then you can hire people for that eventually.
Right.
You can hire people that know every single creative deal that you could ever imagine. You could hire attorneys if you want. You guys do. I mean, you guys have attorneys on staff. You know what I mean? Like, but you started out, Josiah started out, Hunter started out going and finding all these deals, wholesaling, and then you built the biggest wholesaling business.
We're still doing it. We're still wholesaling. I mean, fundamentals haven't changed. Fundamentals haven't changed.
creative avoidance really sneaks in, and it comes through the form of education. And education will hold you back. It will. So just find an ugly house and go talk to somebody. Find a property that's been listed on the market that needs some love and go talk to that agent. And do it 50 times a day.
Yep.
And it's impossible. I don't care if you're the worst person on the phone of all time.
Yeah.
You will find opportunities.
100%.
It's incredible.
Actually, funny enough, we see all of these ways that people can avoid doing the work, right? Well, what if the work was done for you? A good portion of it. Imagine if 80% of what you had to do in a day as a wholesaler happened on autopilot. How much time would you have available left in your day? Why I talk about this is Andy Wrong, one of my Star Astro family members.
Yep.
He's in high school.
Yeah.
I met him when he was 15 years old, and we started. He bought Astro and came in and started doing deals.
Yeah.
Right. But he had a problem. He's like, I'm literally trapped in class, and it's illegal for me not to be in here.
Yeah.
I'm trapped in class like the majority of my day. So I've got these agents responding to me, asking me questions, like wanting to have a conversation, and I can't respond.
Yeah.
Or I'm forgetting to follow up with people because I'm trapped in class all day. So he sat down and he built one of the most incredible pieces of technology I've ever seen in my life.
What does it do?
Bro, it's AI.
Yeah.
It's AI agent outreach. Essentially, I went into business with him. We call it the Astro Blaster, and we're going to be launching it on February 20th.
Awesome.
You guys want to learn how to take your business. If any of you have a W-2 job right now and you don't have time, and you're like, how do I time block my day? I get up at 6. I go to the office. I work out. I go to work. I come home at 6 o'clock. I've got children. I've got a spouse. I've got to sleep. When do I have time to talk to anybody? If that is your situation right now because of your W-2, you want to tune in February 20th and watch this piece of technology that's going to change your life. This man, Andy, the boy, Andy, became a man because he's been able to figure out how to have conversations with realtors while still being in class. And it's not him doing it. It's the robots. The robots have taken over. On February 20th, you're going to see how, and it's genius, man. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. Bobby's putting a link in the chat right now so you can set a reminder to show up. I'm just going to be unveiling it on my YouTube for everybody for the first time. I'm shocked. I'm amazed at what this thing can do, and I think it's going to change real estate. I mean, bro.
It's coming. Yep. So what
he makes 50 grand a month, by the way.
Yeah, that's bananas.
On autopilot.
Yeah.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got all the responses that I would normally give, all of the questions that you would normally ask, and it waits the appropriate amount of time before it responds. Like the workflows have been just crafted out meticulously so that this thing just handles conversations for you. So at the end of the day, you got a list.
Yeah. Instead
of you having to go through and respond to or remember to follow up with all the agents you talked to last week or any of that, it's already done it all for you. All you're doing are looking at the 4 or 5 properties that got filtered through that day's conversations, and now you've got what properties you have in play to deal with. That's a much more digestible way to do this business.
And how do you get the agents' numbers?
Oh, we give it to you. It comes loaded in the Astro Blaster.
And for the whole country or for certain areas?
In the entire US of A.
Got it.
Pretty cool.
So you could text. I mean, isn't everybody going to be texting everybody?
Well, people are already texting everybody.
Yeah.
It's already happening, right? Agents are already being reached out to. It's just that what is your conversation
Agents'
sound
phone
like?
numbers are commercial numbers too.
And that's why they're not subject to the do not call list.
Anything.
Yep. You can freely text them. You don't have to worry about, and you know what else you don't have to have? That stinking little message at the end of your text message that says to opt out of this, press stop. You don't got to say that. You want to know why? Because that agent advertised for you to reach out to them.
Love it. Astro Black. Is the link in here?
Bobby
it's on your
put a
YouTube?
link. Bobby put a link to the YouTube. It's coming. 3 times.
Oh, there
it's been
is.
in there 3
Awesome.
times. Just set the reminder, guys. Show up. February 20th, gonna change your life.
Love it.
Astro Blaster.
What's the
Astro
best
Blast
way-
you into outer space. Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I want to see this thing in action. What is the best method to gain MLS access as a wholesaler who's in a non-disclosure state?
Privy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Privy's got it. Privy's in Arizona now.
Yeah.
Or Maricopa
Yep.
County. Yeah.
And it's crushing it.
So Privy, is there a code?
Yeah, go to runprivy.com. And I think if you use code COMPIN, COMPIN, you'll save 20%. Code COMPIN. Go to runprivy.com, code COMPIN.
Is he doing anything off market or direct to property owners?
Privy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They
No. Astro Blaster.
No, it's going to be an agent outreach tool.
Got it.
Yeah. It's meant for agents.
Yeah.
It's been designed for agents.
Got it.
I'm sure we can build a version that's for
Now,
direct
is it
seller.
texting for properties that are on the market or
No,
just
for agent outreach
building?
to get off-market
Love
agent
it.
properties.
Those are the big ones.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And where does he do it? Where's he located?
And he's in Texas.
Awesome.
Yep.
How'd you meet him? He just joined Astro?
He saw an ad. He was like, I like this dude. He joined Astro. And you know what was funny is he came in and he started making money pretty quick, right?
Mhm.
So his auntie, she's like, how did my 15-year-old nephew just get like a $20,000 wire?
Yeah.
And then he was like, hey, auntie, come meet him. He's going to be in Houston tonight. So like this lady came storming into this meetup, like, who's giving my nephew all this money? And like, you better not be a weirdo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we meet and we have a great conversation. And she said, look, you look like a wonderful human being. And look at all these people that are here to meet you and see you.
Yeah.
I have one condition. I'm happy that you're helping my nephew. I love him very much. He's very dear to our family. So just remember that. But I have one condition. I said, what's your condition? She said, he has to finish high school.
Yeah.
If he doesn't finish high school, we're all going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And I said, I give you my word that I will kick Andy out of astro flipping if he doesn't finish high school. So Andy's got to finish high school, but he's making more money than any person in that entire school.
Oh, yeah.
In a year.
Oh, yeah.
In a month.
In a month. Yeah. I love it. That is awesome. Guys, any other questions? We got about 10 minutes left of the show. Great show. Miss Pace. He hasn't been on the last couple of weeks, but he's going to jump on.
He'll be back here with us next week,
which is really cool. Any shows? I mean, obviously we have the 20th. You have
I
the
got the
20th.
20th. I'm straight out of Compton. Sadly, it didn't happen on Sunday because of me being sick.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I, wanted to watch the football game, which I don't even. Did you watch the game, by the way?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was awesome.
I hear it was like one of the ones for the books.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Missed it. But what do you do when you're sick?
Yeah, it was the only full game I've seen this season.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we had a nice time. We had a nice barbecue and had some of the team over, and it was great. Yeah.
I'll be doing a makeup straight out of Compton one of these days, guys. Just keep watching my YouTube, and we'll let you know what day that's coming. But every Sunday, I do straight out of Compton, and that's where we look at your deals. I show you how to underwrite so that you know what your property's ARV is and what number you should be locking that property up at. If you get those two things right, there's a very low likelihood that you'll cancel. That's just it. How about yourself, bro?
Wednesday, we have a live show, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If you are not subscribed, please check it out and subscribe. If you get value, hit it, set up the alerts so that you know we put out new things every single day, getting real serious about our content, really getting into the nitty-gritty start to finish of deals, right? What list it came from, what the conversation was like, the recordings of the calls or the text message records, the conversations that my acquisition managers have. How did we dispo it? Who was the buyer? What was the strategy? All those things we're going to outline all of it and start doing more in that. Very, very Jerry Norton-ish.
Great.
You know
just
what I mean?
Unpacking it start to
just
finish.
unpacking it start to finish, and it's a lot of work. That's why we haven't done it. It's just been a lot of work, and we've been doing deals, we've been coaching, we've been doing a lot of things, but I think it's time to like really flesh that out.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful thing to just have the creative freedom to do that. And then you have this beautiful space and that kick-ass team that helps you accomplish it all. So,
That's right.
I got the same. I feel super blessed that I got incredible people on my team. I got Hot Bobby over there.
Oh, yeah.
Always hot and ready.
That is Little Caesars,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Emily's about to have a baby, so send love out to her,
Hey,
guys.
Emily,
Her due
you
date,
get one of these.
Her due date is Wednesday. So for those of you that are familiar with my team, Emily is about to give birth, which is an amazing blessing for all of us. So we're super happy for her family and the new addition that they're going to be adding. Yeah, man, just.
This is a good question. Have you run into this? Alex is saying I've been finding deals in Privy and I'm getting resistance from agents on the assigns clause. What do you suggest?
Just assignability. So it just depends on how you're coming off to the agent.
Do you have to put the clause in?
No, I mean, you don't have to. It's just that look, I prefer to have all of my contracts assignable, and yes. I will press the issue, but I won't make it a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I'm asked, and I routinely can say, look, for me, I write and or designated entity on my contract because I'm not sure what entity is going to close this.
Sure.
And we're not going to be able to determine that until we're through the inspection period. Mm-hmm. That's it. Well, why wouldn't you know what entity is going to close it? Well, I might bring on a funding partner. I might close in a different company for tax purposes. Mm-hmm. There's a number of reasons why I could transfer this contract to another entity, but I won't know that until we're in the inspection period and I know what my exit's going to be on this house. So that's why I need the assignability clause there. And it's not that having the assignability clause there makes my offer less professional. In fact, if you do a deal with any hedge fund, if you sell a deal to any hedge fund, private equity, iBuyer, every one of those contracts is going to have an in the buyer name and or assignee.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, most businesses that do business in real estate have and or assignee on every one of their contracts. It is a non-issue. It becomes an issue if you haven't built rapport with an agent and they kind of feel like you may not be serious or you may not be able to pull the deal off. And then you ask for, and then you're starting to press the assignment clause. Now you're making them feel nervous. So I would say it's not a question about how do I get around this? It's how do I build more rapport, or how do I get this agent or build more trust with that agent so they don't feel like having that clause in the contract makes the contract less stable. Because that's all it is.
I like going aggressive. I like going with a higher earnest deposit if need be to beat out other one. Because what's happening is with these properties that need renovation, they're getting offers fast and they're getting a lot of them, and the buyers are canceling because they're not buying it at a price that'll cause it to actually sell.
Right.
So these agents get mad.
Yeah.
And anytime they see a signee, they go, "Oh, you're not the buyer. You're just messing around. I can't let this happen to my client again."
Yeah.
Right. So they're feeling like, oh, okay, I got to protect them from all these people that are fake, phony buyers. I'm having these conversations with agents.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those phony buyers, right?
Yep.
And so if it's a really good deal, and it's got to be a really good deal, let me preface that, I would go whatever, 10,000 non-refundable earnest right now. I'll close this thing in a week. I'll close it in 10 days. I'll do whatever. Right. Yeah. And that really sets the tone. And obviously that's because I've got the money in the bank to be able to do it. I've got the experience. I've got all that stuff. So this isn't like level one type, movements here. But if you can find somebody that's a strong buyer in your area and you say, listen, how about I reverse wholesale this whole thing? You tell me what you want to buy. You want to buy in 85012? Great. 3-bed, 2-bath minimum? Great. Everything that I'm going to bring you, I want you to give me a buy price, and I'm going to go negotiate this thing. If they need hardcore earnest money, are you good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, good. Boom. Now you're going, right? You don't have to have all the money yourself. You can have a buyer that pays you whatever. Oh, well, I'll only pay you 10 grand a deal. It's 10 grand a deal for a couple conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you've got a buyer that has your back. You feel like $1 million because you got literally $1 million backing you up.
Yep.
And you go out there and you can aggressively negotiate that deal and sound like a real boss in this market, as opposed to, let me send you this offer that says and/or signees, and I'm never going to even speak to you on the phone, by the way, and I'm going to just check up with you on text message. And the agents get tired of that.
It's fear, right? You're scared to have the conversation. So instead of picking up the phone and calling, you email it, right? And look, no realtor is going to go and present an offer that's substantially below list price and go to bat for you if you haven't given them the respect to even have a conversation with them. It's just not going to happen.
Yep. Love it. You've got your mastermind this weekend. I'm excited.
Man, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Having Brent Daniels come and speak. I got Stormy Wellington coming in to town, and she's going to be presenting there. My COO of Key Glee we're going to be doing.
Now, the last time I was there was like a manual that you had that was like this thick. What is that?
Which way?
In your mastermind, it was just a big, thick, manual. What is that?
It's what they're learning.
Everything,
bro. The masterminds are insanely valuable. Not to mention the fact that people connect with each other.
Right.
Like every mastermind group, you see the people that came, they kind of grow up together in the community, and then they always they resonate with each other more, and they go do other things together. They form business partnerships together, and like you see new relationships form because of the mastermind.
Yeah.
So I really love the mastermind because it's just like a place to get like super connected.
Yep.
So yes, it's coming this weekend. Friday night, we're all going to meet at my home for supper. I'm having all the mastermind attendees come to my house. We're just going to break bread at my house. Saturday, going to have another super, I'm not going to tell you guys yet what it is, but there may be an elevator night that's being put on by Dan Fleischman that we're all going to be able to attend on Saturday night. So that's going to be...
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds exciting.
Dan Fleischman does these things, bro. He goes around the country and does this thing called elevator night.
Yeah.
500 to 1,000 entrepreneurs will show up. And he usually has just the best of whatever industry come and speak, right?
Yeah. It
was the first place I ever saw Billie Jean as marketing in real life.
Yeah.
Usually it's celebs or people of really high regard in business.
Yeah.
This one, he's doing it real estate focused. It's in Arizona, and it just so happens to have your boys, Pace and Jamil in it, along with Cody. So it's going to be a nice opportunity for us to chit chat and network. So there's going to be some great networking happening. And then on Sunday of the mastermind, I do my one-on-ones, and those one-on-ones are different, bro.
What happens on a one-on-one?
I mean, I can't tell you.
Oh,
it's one-on-one.
Secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
But it's like, it's really, really understanding how best to solve every problem, every situation, every business, every person is so special and unique.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you can really understand what's holding somebody back in an honest, like, just talk to me kind of way, it's really hard to get to the truth that you can, where like as soon as I know what the real problem is, I can tell you exactly what to do to solve it.
Love it.
That's what happens in the one-on-ones.
Incredible.
So a lot of breakthroughs, bro. A lot of tears. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm excited.
Well, I'll be there.
Happy to have you, bro.
Awesome. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining us on Wholesale Hotline number 157. Remember, guys, we put out a podcast every single day at Wholesale Hotline. You can find that on iTunes. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it anywhere, right? Go to Wholesale Hotline. And if you got 30 seconds and you want some really good karma, as Jamil talks about so much on the show, give us a review. Give us a review and let us know how we're doing. And we love you guys. We do this every Monday. We've been doing it for over 3 years now. And I don't think anybody has stronger communities than us three. And being able to commingle them all here every Monday is really, really special for us. So thank you, guys.
Millions of lives, guys. Millions of lives. And you guys make each of ours so much more special.
Awesome. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.